Hello everybody, today we're going to be solving this specific paper 060623 October November 2023. So let's begin. The functions f and g are defined as follows for all of the real values of x. What is f of g of 0? So first you take g0 and you put it into g, so that would be e to the 0 minus 1 and e to the 0. Anything to the 0 is just 1, so 1 minus 1 is also 0. Whereas and you might be thinking like e of x can never reach 0. Well, this is e of x minus 1, so it will never reach minus 1, but it will reach 0 at exactly 0. Then when we put f of 0, so we'll have 2 sine 0 and 3 cos 0. So no matter if we're in radians or we're in degrees, my calculator is currently in degrees, we'll have the same answer. So 2 times 0 is just 0 and cos 0 is 1, so this is 3. And if you hear this noise, so that's just okay, you'll just have to deal with it because I'm in a bit of a noisy place right now. Can't really move, so that's why. Okay, then let's move on to this part B. So what is g of x? So g of x, you can write that as g. Well, instead of having x as the input, g of x itself is the input. So g of x is just e to the 3 into e to the 3x minus 1 minus 1. So you could just leave it like that without expanding anything, or you could expand this to make it 3 e to the x minus 3. So you could do that. Okay, moving on. So solve this equation. So you might think, oh, we first might need to find the inverse to this, and then we'll in the inverse once we found the inverse, we then have to equate what this is. Well, if they ever give you something like solve this equation where you have g inverse of x or f inverse of x, where f is any function, g of x, f of x, h of x, whatever they throw at you, you just need to say that okay, x will be the g of that value. So what do I mean? So if we write down g inverse of x is a third of ln 5, so that basically means that for what value of x is g, where the input is 1/3 of ln 5. Well, 1/3 of ln 5, so x is then e to the ln 5 minus 1, and then once you have ln, so e to the ln of, let's say, a, where a is a constant, so then it become a. So x is 5 minus 1, which is 4. That's the answer. Then question 2. So find the value of k is completely above the x-axis. So what are they trying to say? They're saying that for what value of k is this true, like something like this, for example. So they basically, instead of the values of k like 6, 7, 8, 9, instead of that, they're asking for the values, means a range, that what can k occupy, what is the range of values that k can keep for this, for it to be completely above the x-axis. So since this is true, So we need b square minus 4ac to be less than 0, as there must be no roots. So b square, so k square minus 4 into 1 into 4k minus 15 must be less than 0. And by the way, this is a is 1, this is b is k, and this is c is equals to 4k minus 15. So this, now I need to just find the values. So k square minus 16k and then plus 60 must be less than 0. So I could, and I, where my, did I just lose my no, it's here. Thought I just lost my calculator, but no, we didn't. So 60 can be split into, like, let's say 10 and 16, 10 and 6, sorry. So 10 and 6 could work. So what I'm thinking is that this could be factorized into like k minus 6 into k minus 10 must be less than 0. So k must be basically less, k must be greater than 6, sorry, and k must be less than 10, because if you like sketch out this polynomial, it should be like something like this. I just guessing that it's like something like this. This is this movie here, so that this side is positive, let's say this is 6 and this is 10, and we want this area. So yeah, that's what's happening. And why is my eraser so large? Just showing that. Yeah. So 6, so k must be between these ranges. That's the answer. Then we have this log question. By the way, I have one note for you, because in this paper there is this one question with this. So this is what I have prepared for you guys. So these are the, it was in the paper itself, so that's why I decided to bring it over here. But so these are like the values of sine 60 and 45. 90 and 0, you guys like should know. Sine 90 is 0, cos 90 is 1, cos 0 is 1, cos 90 is 0, sine 90 is 1, cos 90, sine 90, sine 1, I said sine 0, so sine 0 is 0, sine 90 1, cos 0 is 1. And there's like a trick to remembering this. Just pull out your left hand. So like something like over here, I'm just using my own left hand. So this is supposed to be like your left hand. Since it's not really on one page, so let me just like draw it like this. So from here you write down like sine. So this is 0 degrees, this is 30, this is 45, this is 60 degrees, and this is like 90 degrees. So you like use the formula root of n over 2. So if you have like, let's say, so at 0 degrees it will be 0, so that's going to be 0. So sine 0 is 0. 1 over here, so you're gonna have half. 2 over here, so root 2 over 2, 3 over here, so root 3 over 2, and then 4 over here. So it works that way. If you're dealing with like cos, for example, so then it works the other way. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, this is 3, and then this is 4. So these are the ones for cos. These are the ones for sine. And I know my diagrams is like getting very messy, but it's getting very messy. By the way, who do you support? Tell me in the comments. Ronaldo versus Messi. I mean, I just noticed it right now, like Messi, the I and the Y. Isn't Messi like Messi? Aren't they both like the same thing? Whatever, let's just move on. So now how do you solve this? So what you do is, I know my audio is sounding really bad right now because I don't really have like a good mic yet, but once my channel grows and I start earning a bit allowance, so I'm hopefully gonna buy one. Okay, so for these simultaneous equations, I could let u is like log 2 of x and like v is log 2 of y. So I could say that 3u plus 2v is the same thing as 24, and I could say that 5u minus 3v is the same thing as 2. So I have these two simultaneous equations. So if I like subtract, I mean, can we add something now? So I think I'll just like go with the built-in solver in your FX991EX classes. I usually use this. How do we do this? Well, I'm going to show you just now. So this is the CAIE classes. So you have to like so I'm on menu right now. So I go to, so you don't press alpha. I was on alpha, so you can just ignore that. So you go to menu. You can scroll down to this option A, or if you could like just press this. So if I press this, I'm on A. So now since I want simultaneous equation of two variables, so I can just press AC, and that will bring you to this menu. So let's see what is the equation. Now you just need to like press enter, and then once you press enter, it will like, so this is the default one. It has infinite solutions, so you can just then solve with that one. So first 3u and 2x gives us 24, then 5 minus 3 gives us 2. So u must be 4 and v must be equals to 6. u must be equals to 4, v must be 6. So x must be 2 to the 4, which is 16, and y must be 2 to the 6, which is like 64. So that is going to be our answer. Okay, then next part. So can you solve this? So solve this. What I want to advise you, I think you might have seen those block games where you have to like, there's blocks where you like start off at 2 and then you do 4, then 6, then 8, and then you can have half blocks, you can merge them together. So those type of games, so you might have seen numbers like 1024, 4096, 8192. So you might be asking, how does bro remember these? Well, I just want you to like remember the first 10 digits for like 2 to the 0. So 2 to the 0, 1. This is 2 and 2 square is 4. So you might know 2 cubed. 8 to the 4 is 16. 2 to the 5 is like 32. 2 to the 6 is 64. 2 to the 7 is 128. 2 to the 8 is like 256. And 2 to the 9 is 512. 512. 2 to the 10 is 1024. 2 to the 11, 2048. 2 to the 12, 4096, and 2 to the 13 is like 8192. So I remember till here, and I advise you to like remember till here. So 2 to the 10 you must remember at least, because it will be so handy when you like go into the 2025 to 6 to 7 exams for additional mathematics, especially in the P1. Anyways, so since we have base a to the b over a to the c, so I could write that as a to the b minus c. Yeah, basically this will become 2 to the 3t plus 3 is equals to 2 to the 9. This cancels out this. I mean, it's literally like a 4 marker, bro. This is so easy. So 3t plus 3 is 9. 3d is 6. T is like 2, and literally done like 4 steps, and I earned 4 marks for all of that. Wow. See, math is easy. And then we have this, so I challenge you to solve this. If you can, you must like, share, and subscribe, and if you can't, you owe me like, share, subscribe, and comment, and turn with the subscribe you need to turn on the notification bell. Okay, so what is the exact value of this? So the exact value, so what is x minus 1 whole squared equals to? Well, if we expand that, that's just x squared minus 2x plus 1. And then if I like divide that thing by x cube, these are all upon x cube. So this integral can be written as the integral of this with dx. Then I can write that as like 1 over x minus 2 over x squared plus 1 over x cube dx. So you should know that differential of ln is 1 over x, and of like actually of k ln kx, so is actually just like 1 over x, whereas integral of 1 over x is ln x plus ln kx plus c, ln x plus c specifically. So what you want to do is you want to like break this into parts. So I can write that as ln 5/3 of 1 over x dx, then like 5/3 of you know what, I'll just take the minus outside. Yeah, I don't care. Minus 2 over x squared dx, and then plus ln 5/3 of 1 over x cubed dx. So now what you want to do is you want to start integrating. So this is ln x, and I didn't say grinding, I said integrating. So you grate inside. And then so now how do you solve this? So I could write this as 2x to the minus 2 plus 1, and then so that's 2x to the minus 1, and then upon minus 1. So basically that's like plus, in a way the minus, it like disappears, so it's like 2 over x 5 to the 5/3, and then so this is like x to the minus 3 plus 1 minus 2, and then minus 2 over 2, so like that's like minus half into 1 over x squared. 5/3 because you divide it by 2 and then you divide by x squared, so 1 over minus 1 over 2x squared, and then have to like minus the half of that. So this will be like n in 5/3, and then 2/5 minus 2/3 is how much in a fraction? I mean, is like minus 4/5, 4/15 actually, and then 1 over 5 squared minus 1 over 3 squared, and then I have to multiply it by minus half. That's like plus 8 over 225, so minus 4 over 15. So you get ln 5 over 3 minus 52 over 225. So you can like just add and then store this value as a, and then you can indicate the real thing in your calculator. So you just do that to check if our answer is correct, and then you can like subtract that. So yes, they are the same answers, so this is the answer. You might be wondering, why did I write 5 over 3? Well, ln 5 minus ln 3 is the rule ln a minus ln b, or any base of log. It works. Okay, then we have question number 5. So the curved surface area of a cylinder. So before you like move on, since you read the term cylinder, I'm writing this down, and volume is pi r squared h. So what do? So we need to find the total surface area. So let me just draw like a cylinder for you. I'm just gonna use one from Google. So let me just type 3D cylinder. Let's just use this. So this is like the possible net of our cylinder, but let's just stick to like this picture right now. Just screenshot that. Should work fine. So let me just put that over here. So our cylinder. So the cylinder, it's going to have this base. It's going to have this. So if this is like the center, and then so from this center, this is like r, and then the area of this is like pi r squared. This curved surface area is like basically this rectangular thingy. So let me write down pi r squared. Over here, it's also going to be pi r squared. Yes, do this. And then this is like 2 pi r h. So what about h? So pi r squared h equals 1000 because of this. So pi r squared h. So pi. What do we do with pi? So what do we do with h? So this we can write down as 1000 over pi r squared. Now halt, surface area is just the curved surface area. So I said 2 pi r squared and 2 pi r h. So you can already see 2 pi r squared, and then you just need to like put in the values. So like 2 times 1000 is 2000. So it's like 2000 pi over pi r squared. This cancels out with this, and then the r over r squared is like 1 over r. So that's why you get 2 pi r squared plus 2000 over r. Okay, then we have question 5 part B. So what is the value of r that makes this area a minimum? we should show that the value of r gives the minimum. So basically they've said that what is the value of r that makes the area minimum, and then prove that it actually is, you're actually making it minimum, like not like maximum or something else. So how do we do that? Well, the key is differentiation. So what do we do with differentiation? So I can do dA by dr equals some so what would this be equals to? Well, this will become 4 pi r, because pi and the other number like 4 or 2, whichever you're looking at, are all going to be constant. 4 pi, you'd get 4 pi, and then you'll obviously lose one of those r's. And then 2000 over r. So 2000 over r would give you if you like differentiate, you'll get minus 2000 over r squared. Yeah, minus 2000 over r squared. And then this must equal 0. I'm basically saying that r cubed is like 500 over pi, something like that. So r, we just need to find r. But r, I don't need r. I'm tired of r. We'll have to stick to it for another 3 or 4 minutes. So this is like 5.42. Is it in centimeters? Yeah, it's in centimeters. So 5.42 centimeters. And like 5.42 centimeters is like starting from here and going like this much. That's like 5.42. This thing is 5.42 centimeters. Obviously on like a digital scale, but yeah, it's like 5.4. This is like 5.42. Okay, never mind. Let me just take this. And by the way, do make sure to like and subscribe, because I just need this premium and a better mic to help so that I can start growing my channel. So thank you very much for your support. So what is it giving this thing to be minimum? Well, since we want it to be a minimum, we will do d square a by dr squared, which will be like, I know it sounds so funny, and then this will be like 4000 over r cubed. So r cubed is 500 over pi, and then if you do like 4000 over that, that's like 8 pi, and then 8 pi plus 4 pi is like 12 pi, and 12 pi is indeed greater than 0, so it is a minimum. So this is the answer, and this is the proof. Okay, then what we have, I think we have question number 6. Yeah, this one. So what I observed in these papers is that in question 4, for example, they asked integration, and now they've given us s, so s to v. I think I almost like I'm seeing like kinematics very often now in 2023. I'm like s to v to a. By the way, I've made a new WhatsApp community as well, so if you want to join that as well, so in my YouTube description I've written that we also do the Olympiads. However, that's not in the group. I'll in the community I'll add the groups for those as well. But right now we have like maths, add additional maths. We have chemistry, we have biology, and we have physics. So all the IGCSE ones for Cambridge, and then for our for English, so we do English first language, we do English second language, and we do English as an additional language. So yeah, so let's just continue on with the video. So just keep supporting me through the way, and wish you the best for your exams. Okay, so you differentiate, and then you're also integrating while differentiating. So it's displacement from the from s meters from the origin at time t seconds where t is greater than 2 is given by this. So how do you find an expression for velocity? Well, so v differentiate. So whenever you like differentiating ln, so if it's like ln of f of x, then you do f prime of x over f of x as the differential. So that would be 80 over 4t square minus 5, and then for minus t you do minus 1. And then however, so now we're basically focusing on the differential of this thing. So how do you differentiate this thing? So u is 80, v is 40, sorry, you have to do right first u prime, like more of like a v. U prime is going to be 8, and then v prime is also going to be the same as u, so v is 40 square minus 5. So u prime v, sorry, we do u prime v, yeah. So it correct, why did I change what I said? So this is what we're dealing with over the square of this thing. That's why this is worth the whole 4 marks. I think 1 to 2 marks for v, and then 1 mark for v, and then 3 marks for a. Yeah, literally. Okay, so we have 32 minus 60, which is minus 32t square, and then this is minus 40 over 40 square minus 5 whole square, and this is a. These are the answers. And then moving on to part B. I think it's here's part B. So what is the time when particle is rest? So basically when v equals 0, so we're basically finding when 8t is equals to 4t square minus 5. So 4t square minus 8t minus 5 equals 0. Let me just grab my calculator real quick. There was a large explosion. Okay, so we just need to put this into the calculator. 4 minus 8, and then we have minus 5. So 5 over 2 and minus 1 over 2. So to like show that we factorized, whenever it's like x is a fraction, so that's called a over b. So then, or it's like b over a. So then ax minus b is the factor. And then if like x is equals to a, so then x minus a is the factor. Yeah, I know I'm writing in the world's ugliest handwriting mankind has known, but it's just that my eraser smaller. Wait, if I hold my stylus vertically, it's so small, and if I hold it at like diagonal speeds, wait, what just happened? Oh my! What is this? What is this? It isn't even erasing anything. Can I expect you? If I press, how do I remove this thing? Should I try and remove it in the first place? What if I... Oh, it disappeared. I did remove that earthquake. Let me try that again. No, it didn't work. Let me try that again. Should work. What if I should get faster? Oh my! I just discovered a glitch that if you shoot it fast enough, it doesn't after you erase something, it takes you back to the pen thing, and then you have to go back to erase mode, and it doesn't. You don't have to do that anymore. Am I the smartest guy in the world, or am I the worst guy in the world? Just asking. I'm just asking. Am I the smartest or am I the dumbest? I feel like I'm dumbest to be fair right now. So 2x minus 5 do 2x plus 1 equals 0. So x equals 5 or 2. I'm bad that this is... Bro, what is that line? I did draw no line. I didn't draw any line. But what's the line for? Bro, color notes. By the my app's named color node. So color node, why does the name show? It's spelled color node. This is what it's spelled. Color node. So yeah, so does everyone understand up till now? Yeah? Okay. So 2t plus 1, 2t minus this. So t equals 5 over 2, or t equals minus half. So, but t can't be minus half, so t is equals to 5 over 2 seconds. That's the only answer, because time literally cannot be negative, so that's why. Okay, then find the acceleration at this time. So how do you find the acceleration at t is equals to 5 over 2? Obviously you just put it, right? Wrong. You have to think. So you are supposed to figure out 8 and a minus. So you factor out minus 8. So this will leave you 4t square plus 5 plus 5. Interesting. We are left with 40 square. Let me just check if I wrote this thing, because if it was 40 square minus 5, I was whoa. I could I could write that as minus 8 over 40 minus 5, making my life easier. But no, we'll have to follow the hard way, unfortunately. So a is minus 8 times, so 40, 4 into 5 over 2 into 5 over 2, 40 square minus 5, so in 8 minus 8 into 20 over oh, it should be 30. This should need below, it should be 20 because it's like 40 squared plus 5, so 20 squared, so we have minus 8, so we have 1 over 20 squared into minus 8 into 30, which is minus 3 over 5, or you can convert that to decimals, and 0.6. So it's not really like accelerating, it's like decelerating at this time. Okay, so this is that question where we had this all of the values which I told you, the hand trick. Let me just make this a little bigger. Why don't we like crop a rounded rectangle so that like matches exactly with this? No, the thingies don't want to match exactly with this. We just like freely crop around the rectangles. Yeah, that looks much better. Only that if I could like uncrop the bottom part. No, I can't. I'm stuck with this. Well, okay, whatever. So do not use a calculator. Given that area of triangle ABC is 3 plus, show that this is that even possible? So my plan is to like just an illustration for you guys. So my plan is to like find this one through sine rule and then use the area of a triangle. So you call this x, so it's like root 2 x times half times sine 75 equals 3 plus root 3 over 4, and then we can like solve to get that sine 75 is this. So how do you find BC? So I will call BC like x. I will call BC x. So x over sine 60. Oh, and by the way, you can't use a calculator, so let me just put the case on. So yeah, I give it to some friend of mine who's literally watching me. Say hi. Hi. Okay, yeah. So x over sine 60 is going to be equals to root 2 over sine 45. So sine 45 is root 2 over 2 and sine 60 is root 3 over 2. So x into 2 over root 3 is equals to root 2 into 2 over root 2. Interesting. That is so consequential. So x is like root 3, so this is like root 3. So everybody is root 3. Like if I had the root of like AB, I could write that as root 3 times root 3. Like if I had root of 90, so I could write that as root of 9 times the root of 10, and root 9 is 3, so I could write that as 3 root 10. Okay, so I could write this as half root 6. X is equals to 3 plus root 3 over 4. So x is equals to like 3 plus root 3 over 2 root 6. And by the x is sine 75 now. And this is sine 75. So this, once you simplify this to sine 75 degrees, like all of this, so like the root of 6 times the root of plus the root of 2 over 4. Why am I drawing an arrow? So the root of 4. Okay, then we have to find the exact length of BC. So to find the exact length, AC. Yeah, AC, not BC. So to do that, we will need to by the way, on question 7 right now. So we're almost done with the paper though. So let's just hope we complete this quickly. So AC, so we could use cosine rule right now. So using the cosine rule, so to solve this, what we do is that we will use the cosine rule. So A will be equals to the square root of B squared, so 2c squared 3 minus so cos of 75. Do you have that? No, we don't have the cos of 75. Oh, sine rule, little sine rule. So y over sine 75 equals root 2 over sine 45. So you can find what AC is just from like the above, right? So let's do this. So this is root 6 plus root 2 over 2. By the way, you could find AC in the first part, and then you could solve that accordingly for part A. So yeah. Okay, then oops, I've done this. Then so can you do this? Type yes in the comments if you can, type no if you can't. I hope you can, and we should always hope for the best for each other. So sine x tan x plus sine x minus cos x tan x plus cos x over tan square x minus 1, and sec square x is equals to tan square x plus 1, so that could be like sec square x minus 2. So first we know that we could write this thing as sine squared x over cos x, and then plus sine x plus cos x, and then so sine x over cos x times cos x, so that would be like minus sine x right now over tan square x minus 1. So this cancels out with this. So we could have like sine square x plus cos square x over cos square x right now. Cos x, sorry, not cos square x, over like whole thing divided by like tan square x minus 1. So this will be 1 over cos x over like tan square x minus 1. So basically then I could like shift that over to being cos x. So basically like the inverse, and then this bottom part we can simplify to sin square x minus cos square x. ENS again, then hence I think this is like the same thing, yeah. So solve this for this. So basically I'm saying that cos x is equals to sin square x minus cos square x, and then sin square x I could write as 1 minus cos square x. So this is like cos x equals 1 minus 2 cos square x. In a way, yes, this is what I said. This is so we could write it as 2 cos square x plus cos x minus 1 equals 0, and then we could do like that u equals to cos x. So then we can like find out the values of u. So finding out the values of u, 2, 1 minus 1. So u is equals to half or minus 1. Let me just make a graph so that you guys can understand, and we want for 0 and 360. So let's open Desmos. So y equals cos theta. By the way, I always wondered what would happen if we like type y equals to mx and then plus c or b. Mx plus c. So this is like you can now visualize stuff and how a line would behave. So like let's set it to like over here. So this is a line. So see how it turns. Is this going to make you dizzy? What is happening to this thing? It is so weird right now. Pause. That is so weird. Okay, let's just get rid of all of this. Okay, and then we like want y equals, I think it was like minus 1. And then like y is equals to, I think I should like 1 over 1 so it doesn't put the slider thing. And then y equals half. It's not in radians, in degrees, from 0 to 360. So what are the solutions? So we have 300, 60 and 180. Write that down. So cos x equals half comma minus 1. So x is 60, 180 and 300. Those are the answers. Why did I type it in text? That's so absurd. Okay, so dy by dx, first you have like u equals x, v equals 1, v is equals to e to the 2x, v prime equals to e to the 2x. So dy by dx is x 2x e to the 2x plus e to the 2x, or you can like write it as e to the 2x into 2x plus 1, which literally is like e to the u into u plus 1. It's literally like that. Like it's like I'm saying, okay, would you like payment of 2e to the u plus u, 2u e to the 2u plus e to the 2 here, or u e to the u plus e to the u. It's like non-math loving guys will literally close this video right now. But let's just move on. If you don't want to watch this, don't watch. Just have a good day. Okay, so equation of the normal at x1. So the equation of the normal, so dy by dx why was my pen not working? Okay, so that would be e to the 2 into 2 plus 1, 2 times 1, and then plus 1 is like 3, so 3 e to the 2. So y is equals, seriously? And then y is how much? Y is e to the 2. I think c will also be something like e to the 2-ish something. Yeah, it should be minus 2 e to the 2. So 3 e to the 2 squared. So y is equals to 3e squared x minus 2e squared. What is the exact value of this? So there's a simple method. So what you do is you do u and then u prime, and then instead of doing v and then v prime, you do v prime and then v. So u prime, let's say that's 2x, so u is 2. Now v, if I'd say that's 2x, so I have to integrate half e to the 2x. So we basically do like u into v, which is x e to the 2x. So this thing 2 zeros with the limit minus the integral 2 0 of u prime into v, so that is like e to the 2x dx. So basically I'm talking about x e to the 2x minus half e to the 2x. 2 and 0, so 2e4 minus half e4 minus 0 plus half like e to the 0. So this cancels out with this, so we are left with 2e to the 4. And again, to check, just type in 2e to the 4, take the decimal value and store that into your calculator, then put the integral into your calculator, and then the value that you obtain, you check, you can subtract from the other value. So it says that this is not the answer, so we need to find what went wrong. So did we put in 2 and did we put in 0 correctly? X e to the 2x, I think that was like above, and then minus half e to the 2x, yeah. So yeah, so 2 e to the 4, then oh, that's where I went wrong. It should be like 3/4, 3/2 of that. Actually, let's check 3/2. Does 3/2 work? So 3/2 e to the 4. Let's call that this. And then by the, since this occurs, so we'll have to use half as well. So plus half. So and then we can do the integral now of the thing. 0 to 2, some yeah, they're both same now. And finally, this question, so can you solve part B especially and part A both? If you can, you owe me a like and subscribe and share. And if you can't, you owe me a comment as well, and with the notification turned on the subscribe button. So so I know that a plus 4d is equals to 11, and I know that a plus 6d is the same thing as 3a plus 3d. See, I could say that 2a equals 3d. So a would be 3 halves, so 3 halves of d plus 4d equals 11, so I just need to find what d is. So I just need to find what 4 and 3 halves is, so that's 11 by 2. So d would be 2, so a would be 3. Okay, then part B. So different arithmetic expression. So first and third. So second time is the same as the third time. So d plus 3 is the same thing as ar squared, and 5d plus 3 is the same thing as ar to the 4. Sorry, 3 in all the cases. So 3. So here I could call this like 5d plus 3 is equals to 3 into d plus 3 over 3 whole squared. If that actually makes sense to you, because I basically said that okay, r squared will be this thing over 3, and therefore 3 r to the 4 is like r squared whole squared from like the a raised by m whole thing raised by n rule. So, and then first I wanted you to square this, so this would be 5d plus 3 equals 1/3 of d squared plus 6d plus 9. And then we can say that 15d plus 9 equals this 6d and then 9. This cancel out with this, so we're saying that d squared equals 9d, so d must equal 9, and since d must equal 9, so 9 plus 3 is 12, and then 12 over 3 is d plus 3, yeah, 4 is equals to r squared, so r equals to ns. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.